Hey, Crispy Crew, welcome back to Crispy Cocktails, where we bring you the best drinks, the best conversations, and get crispy with leaders, coaches, mentors, entrepreneurs, and all-around badasses making waves. If you're loving what we do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a sip of the action. And while you're at it, check out our website at crispycocktails.com for everything you need. Explore our flavors, find a retailer near you, browse our gallery, and get answers to your top questions. Before we jump in, don't forget to follow, share, and tag us while you sip. Now, let's meet today's guests. Cheers and get crispy. I'm sitting here today with Stan Lawson.
Lawson, yes.
Who you run the golf company. What's the name of your company you work with?
The name of the company is Colorado Under Par.
Okay.
It was actually started by Andrew Mueller.
Okay.
This is their 6th year of operation. I met Andrew at the Golf Expo over a year ago, and I was transitioning to kind of semi-retired, and got to talking to him and found out what he was doing and how it was going, and said, well, hey, I'd be happy to help you. And he says, I can use help. So I started out helping at a couple of tournaments, and then now besides helping at the tournaments, I also help get sponsors.
But you guys run tournaments for other people that want to host tournaments. So you would work with like Children's Hospital or a local bar or a restaurant or some other place that wants to run a tournament, right?
Right. So for instance, we were contacted by a brewery in Aurora, a Twisted Pub, that had done a tournament, and they were running into trouble getting things set with the golf course.
Yeah, because it's so much stuff that goes into
a
tournament.
Yeah.
We just ran our tournament, and it's like you're dealing with all the people, making sure that they get showed up, making sure that the vendors get on the spot. What are all the things that are involved in setting up a golf tournament?
So in doing like this event for that we're doing, so a Twisted Pub came to us and said, hey, we'd like to do we want to continue doing a tournament, we just can't do it. And so we arranged to turn around and ask them, would you like to do something a little bit larger or be a part of something a little bit larger? So the Aurora Shines event was set up through them and other breweries and other businesses to come out, and we're raising money for the Aurora Animal Shelter. That was nominated by Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky. So it takes each of those components. We'll do a veterans event, raising money for like 1010 veterans. They're a veteran organization, and so we'll put the word out through social media and put all the marketing materials together for them. We'll put the word out through the businesses that we already have contact with, and work things there. The tournaments aren't successful really just by having a bunch of golfers. You need sponsors.
Yeah.
And that's probably the greatest challenge is in getting sponsors that are willing to either just come out and sit at a hole or donate money to have items there and things like that. But it's huge if you get enough of those, because it more than doubles what you raise for the charity. And at the end of the day, what we want to do, Chris, is we want people to win. We want the charity to win. We want the golfers who participate in the event win. We want our sponsors to win. We want them to have a good opportunity in their marketing to reach other people, to tell people about their brand or what they do or things like, much like what you guys are doing.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a win-win-win. It's a win for the golfers, it's a win for the sponsors, it's a win for the charity, right? And how much money do you normally raise on these events for the charity?
So we did an event we raised over $40,000 for at the beginning.
Holy cow, $40,000 in one event.
Yeah, but that event is in their 4th year.
Okay.
So we don't always do that in a first year of an event, but we'll get to $10,000 to $15,000, pretty comfortably. And then from there, it's just, again, it's making sure you check the boxes of who do you know, who can we get to come out and partner with us, who can we get to come out and play with us, and then just let's go have a great time. We did an event where everybody who came out got a seltzer.
Nice.
And we had to get permission from the golf course to do that, but and they couldn't open them up on the course. But Fancy, at least that was the rule.
Did they follow that rule? I was just thinking that. Yeah.
But it's things like that I'm always amazed. that we have a State Farm has come out and done 4 or 5 events with us.
Now, do you normally work with like State Farm or the companies, or do you work with the charities more, like to set up a golf tournament? So will you work with like a Wounded Warrior or Warrior Bonfire program or one of those charities with veterans or whatever charity it is? Will you work for them directly to set up the tournament, or will you work with the business side of things to set up the tournament, or both?
It's both. You got to create a partnership, you know, and so, you know, you have those two components. You need people to set everything up for the golf event. And, you know, like even today I was going through, there's like 8 different folders in it, you know, that I have to look through to go, okay, is this being done? Is this being done? Is, you know, you're trying to give out prizes. You're trying, you know, as well as getting the sponsors, as well as, all right, we've got everything taken care of with the golf course, which includes, in most cases, breakfast. It includes lunch, you know, or you know, the time that, all right, do we have a speaker system at the course? You know, are we going to be able to talk over that, or do we need to bring that ourselves or something like that? So there's a whole list of details. In fact, we have a binder for every tournament that we start checking off and going, okay, you know, did we get these things done? When you do it all, it makes it so much easier for, you know, for the host, because we're technically not the host. The charity is the host. So it makes it easier for the host. And like I was telling you about a Twisted Pub. They're like, by this time they would have taken days off.
Yeah.
To work their tournament, right? Because you guys just did this, right?
Yeah, we did. We just had our tournament on Monday, which was only 5 days ago. And it was a success, but gosh, all the work that goes into it, and like you said, getting the prizes and getting the players there and collecting all the money and making sure that everybody's happy and dealing with the sponsors and all of that good stuff. It's a lot of work, to where I was almost like, you know what, I don't know if we're going to do it again next year, and I don't even want to put in the work to do it again next year, even though we have a ton of fun and we raised a lot of money for the charity, and we did ours for the Warrior Bonfire program. But now we're going to contract you next year.
Hey,
we're going to raise more money. It's going to be easier for us. You guys are going to make money, and it's, to me, it just sounds like a win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah, us making money is just a fruit, you know, of what you're doing. But the cool thing is, we make it easier for a lot of people, because it takes 500 to 600 hours. You know, as you know, you know, to put it all together, and people don't realize.
So, on average, how many players do you get in your tournaments that will show up and play?
We get 80 to 100.
80 to 100? Okay, so you're looking at roughly, like, 18 to, 25 teams or something like that? Okay. And then...
And most courses can do, so we can get up to 120 golfers. So we can get up to 30 teams.
Up to 30 teams?
Yeah.
Because then it gets too bogged down. And not only that, at our tournament on Monday, we had a 6-hour round. It took forever.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know why it was so crowded behind us.
Yeah, so by the
it's clear in front, though.
You get back to the sports lounge, you get your lunch, you get some drinks, you do the prizes. I mean, it's a full day.
Yes,
for sure.
it is.
Yeah, so you get about that. How many hole sponsors do you average? Usually?
We try to keep it to a minimum or a maximum of 8.
Maximum of 8?
Of 8.
I was going to think that it would have been more like a maximum of 18.
Yeah,
one per hole.
Well, we find that it doesn't benefit the golfers. It doesn't benefit the businesses to have one on every hole. You know, the businesses need at least 30 seconds, you know, of a golfer's time if they have a hole and they're out there on the hole. So you're talking about a 6-hour round.
Yeah.
You know, there's already enough to slow golfers down. You know, so you know, having somebody, we're gonna, you know, we want to give you a whole sales pitch. No, you get 30 seconds. That's what we tell you. You get 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because that allows the group to get settled, you know, to get ready on the tee and everything. You know, that's 2 minutes to a group, and really that's enough time to get name, number, and everything. You don't want to give the sales pitch on the course. You want to follow up with them later and, you know, ask how the round went. You know what?
Yeah. How do you get the sponsors to sign up for these events?
I ask. Scripture says you have not because you ask not. There you go. There you go. And you wind up talking to a lot of people. And sometimes, we do well in getting repeat people. Like Basante Foods, they are absolutely awesome. They have done every event that we're out, that we do. They love helping the charities, and they're coming out, paying the money, and talking to people, and it's a great benefit to them. They pick up a lot of customers, and so that's how it's done. It's
shout out to Basante Foods.
Yeah,
right?
Shout out to Basante Foods, absolutely. Yeah. And Lifetime Windows, they're another one that's out to a lot of our events. So you just like this, you got to meet the people, right? You got to meet the people, you got to build the relationships, and then from there. So like you had sponsors on your event on Monday, you said?
Yes.
All right, so Tuesday and Wednesday, were you calling them and saying, hey, thanks for coming out, how did it go?
I did not.
Okay,
no.
see, that's what I got to do.
They just sponsored, they donated product.
Yeah.
They came out, they were at the Sports Lounge afterwards, but they weren't at the holes.
Oh, okay.
So, but everybody said that it went great. I talked to them after the event.
Okay, cool.
But not the day after.
Yeah. So,
but we still have their signage that we need to get back to them. But we have a good relationship with those guys, and what's nice is they're regulars at the bar.
Yeah.
And,
there you go.
We talk to them, so we know them, and like you said, I mean, it's a networking thing. You meet the people, you get to know them, then they sponsor the event and everything. But I would much rather work with a company like yours to set everything up and do all the heavy lifting and raise more money. And I just want to show up and play, have a good time, give some money back, shake some hands, play some good golf, get done in 4.5 hours, maybe 5.
5 hours. 5 hours is pretty typical.
And have a great time, you know. And so that's great.
Yeah.
How many tournaments do you guys do a year?
Well, so we did 27 events this year.
And we just started July.
Yeah, so as I said, so July, there are 6 events. There's 4 or 5 in August. I know we have another couple in September. And then actually we have 2 in October. And then we have some indoor events, simulator events coming. But I already know next year is going to be over 30 events. We're already beginning to fill.
Well, you can put ours on your list too.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, definitely.
And the cool thing is with Andrew, he's been doing this now long enough that the clubs call him.
Yeah.
And say, hey, we have time.
How long have you guys been doing this?
So Andrew's been doing it for 6 years. This is his 6th year.
Okay.
Doing this. This is the first year that he's had somebody else helping him.
Okay.
And I really enjoy it. I drive him crazy, but he really knows the marketing side. And I'm still old school. Yeah. I really enjoy coming out and meeting people.
Yeah. What did you do before this?
Well, before this, I was an associate pastor, a student ministries pastor, and I sold real estate.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so meeting and talking to people is cool, and I love to play golf.
Yeah. What has your experience with being a pastor and your faith helped you in your business, and how has it affected you in dealing with people and everything?
Well, I think that's a great question. I think there's a couple of things with it. Number one is that I know I don't have to be in control. So, I give glory to God and let him control, and so, if somebody turns around and says no, it's like, well, God bless them. I can go on to the next person and not worry about it. I've sold real estate for a number of years, and I remember being at that place where it's like, no, I needed every listing, every sale that I could possibly get, and it would just drive me nuts. But now I can just no, I know I have a job to do. I've been given the tools and the resources to do that, so I do that. And that's what I bring over from ministry. It's like, I know if somebody says no, they're not rejecting me.
Yeah.
So and if somebody says yes, it's like, all right, let's go. Just like we said, we create a win-win-win, situation. Yeah. I mean, you can't do that without faith. And so that's one of the things that comes into it.
Yeah, well, I definitely carry my faith in business and know that I always tell myself to be the light, right? And be positive. Always try to have a good attitude. Treat your people with respect and kindness and care. And it's really helped me be successful in business. And I think having that backing and knowing that you have faith, somebody to fall back on, that God's always watching over you, that you're going to be okay, that gives me a sense of relief, and then you can deal with rejection a little bit better, and you can deal with difficult things a little bit better. And I love that you said that, you know, having faith and having your ministry and putting it into your business has really helped you out a lot. So those are good things. What would you tell a young person or a young entrepreneur that's just starting out or just getting into business? What's a piece of advice that you would give to them that you wish you would have known
that I wish I would
forever ago?
Don't spend all your money.
Yeah.
You really, yeah, it's like, you know, as you well know, right, Chris, you got to have a plan, because if you don't, you've already planned to fail.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, with that plan, you got to work through the budget and be realistic about the budget, and be realistic about, all right, you know, if I'm selling something and my plan is that I've got to sell 10,000 units in the first year, that might not be realistic, you know, depending, even with all the great connections that we have now. Heck, I would have loved to have the internet connections that we have now, you know, but so that's a great thing that, you know, that's available in a resource to somebody that's just getting started out. And then finally, you know, it's like, okay, no isn't the end, you know, or failure isn't the end. You know, Walt Disney declared bankruptcy, I think they told me 7 times.
Yeah, I've heard that too,
yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, and I've met a lot of people that failed initially, but it's only a failure if you don't learn anything,
or if you quit.
or
right?
if you quit. Yeah. And so it's like, no, you gotta figure out, okay, I gotta make these steps, and I've learned this or I've learned that, and now I can move forward in the other thing, you know. And it's like, I talk to people, Chris, that they want to go into ministry. They feel God's called them in a direction, right? And then it gets really hard. And they're like,
very hard.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, I guess God didn't do it. It's like, no, it's supposed to get hard.
Yeah.
You know, you have to get through the fire to get the steel right.
Yeah,
So
to get the fruits of the labor, right?
Yeah. So that's what I would tell a young person.
Yeah,
is
a
that
lot of people think that it's going to be easy, and if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? And everybody's heard that before.
I have a number of failed businesses early in my life, and some of it was due to my error, but some of it is like, oh, you know, this is a lot harder than I thought, you know, and that was before the internet. So.
Yeah. So cool. Well, I really appreciate you being on.
Oh,
with me today.
I enjoy it.
Where can everybody find you if they're looking to set up their golf event or they're looking to raise money?
To come to coloradounderpar.com. So that's Colorado under par, which only happens when you start the round. but coloradounderpar.com, and there's an events page. There's things that we can set up a video interview and kind of go through, okay, what's your goal in this? What is it you want to accomplish? And then how can we help you?
Awesome. Well, that's been so good. Cheers to you.
Cheers, Chris. Thank you so much.
What do you think of the crispy cocktail?
Hey,
right
this
there?
is nice, man.
Yeah, you have the blueberry
lemonade. I like
lemonade
the blueberry lemonade, yeah. I say get this, you know.
Very cool. Well, have a great night.
All right.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Chris.
For sure.
All right, blessings.
Here's to 5 o'clock somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Here's to a good tan and a buzz with the good ones that we love. Here's to 2 for 1 on ladies' night. Here's to the 19th hole. Anchors down and bottoms up. It's almost time to start